truly big problem now for the British monarchy and in particular our brand new King, King Charles III. And as ever, it concerns the twosome out in California, but truly, are his hands royally tied? As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. And as ever, nice to see you today. Hope whatever you're doing, you're keeping safe. By the way, a lot of people have been asking me about the Prince Andrew the musical, which was screened over here on that Little Watch channel, Channel 4. You know, the one with the disgraced TV presenter that swore to the government minister live on air. You get the level of, shall we say, class that's aligned to that particular channel. How was it, you know? Well, let me tell you, it didn't really create any sort of ripple at all. What was interesting, I felt, is that Channel 4 had spent a phenomenal amount of money on something they thought was hilarious, controversial, all that sort of stuff. It got a few acres of press, you know, but of course people just simply mocking it. Did that actually turn into an audience? No. So really, again, it just proves, doesn't it, that satire, particularly when people think, oh, just leave it alone now, it's just one too many. Well, you know, that's really what resulted in bad ratings. Now, I can't personally see them being able to sell this around the world as they hope, because if it didn't do well over here on that initial screening, why on earth would any TV channel wish to buy it around the world? As ever, I'll keep you posted. Back also to your royal story of the day. This is really bad news if you are Harry and Meghan. Let me explain, because as we told you recently, they believe that actually the British public simply like them, you know, that they're on their side. Seemingly many people believe that's how deluded they are. You know, even though they've trashed Britain, and, you know, they really have trashed Britain. And in my opinion, the biggest mistake that they made was Meghan's mockery of the courtesy to our late monarch. It just reeked of bad taste in so many levels. But of course, nobody bothered to point that out to them. Now, though, in a brand new poll by YouGov, which is a respected polling company, over half of the British public want to see those titles stripped of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, what's interesting here is if they go, then she could call herself, Meghan Markle, Princess Henry. But what's the betting she'll just stick to Princess Meghan? So it's a bit of a tricky dilemma, isn't it, you know? Unless, of course, the king really gets involved alongside the government and basically says, well, you know, we need to remove everything to make sure that they're simply known as plain Mr. and Mrs. Windsor. But the bigger problem with that, you see, is that Rishi Sunak, current British Prime Minister, the Right Honourable, I should point out, has basically said that he doesn't want to get involved with it at this particular stage. Interesting dichotomy, right? Now, many might say this is because he doesn't want to offend or indeed lose the possible position of attending that wonderful coronation on May the 6th. You may think that's an automatic inclusion. Well, yes and no. But if he was offensive, that could be a bit of a problem. Moving forward, this is a big problem now for the king and senior members of the British monarchy because the public have spoken. If, of course, King Charles does decide to invite his youngest son along to the coronation, then that could be problematic in itself, not just for security, but public mood. And right now, in the world of social media, woke, cost of living, and more importantly, some might say, is this really necessary to spend so much on a coronation? Once again, it looks like Prince Harry and Meghan Markle could be bringing a bit of a dark cloud to what should be a very spectacular and happy plus historical time. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.